Today we have to listen Maranasati, meditation on death, and we need to learn that it is important to keep our
recording in progress
going on. It is important to practice meditation regularly. At one time, Buddha went to a city called Alawi. So the people in that Alawi city invited the Buddha and offered him food as usual. And when the Buddha taught the Dhamma, Buddha told them to practice meditation on death, also known as recollection of death, Maranasati. Now, meditation on death is not vipassana meditation. It is one of the 40 subjects of samatha meditation, but it is beneficial to practice this meditation. Actually, you are practicing to discover the nature of death. Everything is disappearing very fast. Rise and fall, come and go, appearing and disappearing. And Maranasati, recollection on death, encourage us to practice meditation seriously. And when Buddha asked these people to practice, Buddha said, you should reflect in this way. Marana mewa duwon, jivita aduwon, awisambaya maritapa mewa, Marana pariyosana me jivita. Jivita mewa aniyata, Marana niyata. Uncertain is my life, certain is my death. I shall surely die. Death will be the termination of my life. Life is unstable and death is sure. Buddha urged these people to practice Maranasati. Also during the practice of Vipassana, you can practice Maranasati for a moment, for a while. It encourages you to practice meditation more faithfully. Actually, you are discovering the nature of death. Can you follow me? Uncertain is my life. Uncertain is my life. Certain is my death. Certain is my death. I shall surely die. I shall surely die. That will be termination of my life. That will be termination of my life. Life is unstable. Life is unstable. Death is sure. Death is sure. This is how Buddha taught us to practice recollection of death. And the commentary said that when people practice meditation on death, they can get benefits. Now those people who have not practiced meditation on death will tremble and fear when their last hour comes and we die scream of terror, even as a man having no stick or seeing a snake is stricken with fear. You may have experienced the family members or relatives or friends or other people. Some people die very peacefully, but some people die not very peaceful. They screams of terror, even as a man having no stick or seeing a snake. And people surrounding relatives encourage, no, there is nothing. But the dying person saw something very bad destination, and she or he screaming. But those people who have practiced meditation on that, we have no fear when their last hours comes, but we be like a steadfast man who seeing a snake even from a distance, takes it up with his stick and throws it away. So Buddha said, practice meditation on death. It is strange that when we practice meditation on death, we lose fear of death, not together, but we lose some fear of death. That is because when we reflect on death many times, we become familiar with this experience. So when it really comes, we will be able to face it without much fear. But Buddha method is to meet death face to face rather than to run away from it. Buddha's advice may be quite the opposite of what people are doing nowadays. So nowadays, people don't want to hear about death. When dead news come, people don't like. People don't want to hear about death. They don't want to think about death. Although they don't want to think about death, death is certain. Death will come one day and they cannot escape. So it is better to be prepared than to be frightened when the last moment of life comes. So Buddha taught to these people to practice meditation on death, maranasati. But the commentary says, with the exception of one young girl, about 16 years of age, who was a daughter of a weaver. Nobody took it seriously, but they followed their usual will and forgot about it. But the young girl, the weaver daughter, practiced meditation on death every day. And she practices for 3 years. After 3 years, after teaching them to practice mindfulness of death, Buddha went back to the city of Sawati. So for 3 years, the girl practiced meditation on death, Maranasati. After 3 years, one day, Buddha surveyed the world looking for beings who were mature enough to get enlightenment. This weaver daughter, the girl, entered Buddha's knowledge. So Buddha knew that this girl had potential to become enlightened. And Buddha knew that he would ask this girl 4 questions, and she would give the answer to the question, and then Buddha would congratulate her on being able to answer the question correctly, and so on. So Buddha went again to the city of Alawi. When Buddha reached there, town people invited him to do a meal. After taking the meal, Buddha was sitting looking for the girl. Although there was a multitude of people waiting for the Buddha to give a gladdening Dhamma talk, Anumodana, the girl was not there, and Buddha thought to himself, for the sake of the girl, that very person, I came here, but she is not here yet. So Buddha waited, keeping silent. So when Buddha was silent, nobody dared to utter a word, so everybody was silent. Now when the girl had heard that Buddha had come to her city, she was very glad. She had great devotion for the Buddha. So she was very glad and she decided to go to see the Buddha and listen to his Dhamma talk. But on that day, her father said, my daughter, there is a cloth on the loom, a span of it is yet to be completed. And the father said, I must finish it today. So my daughter, you quickly replenish the shuttle and bring it to me. The father said. When she heard this, the daughter thought to herself, I want to go to the Buddha and listen to his Dhamma talk, but now my father is asking me to replenish the shuttle and bring it to him. So what shall I do? Go to the Buddha and listen to his Dhamma talk, or to carry out what my father asked to do? The daughter didn't know what to do. Then she thought, if I fail to bring my father the shuttle, My father will strike me and beat me. So I shall first replenish the shuttle and give it to him, and wait until afterwards to hear the Dhamma talk. She decided this way. That means she would replenish the shuttle and then she would bring it to her father, and after that she would go to see the Buddha. So she replenished the shuttle and she put it in the basket and she picked it up and went to where her father was working at the weaver's workshop. On the way, she approached the multitude waiting for the Buddha to give a Dhamma talk. So she stood at the edge of the crowd and stood looking at the Buddha. Now Buddha saw the weaver daughters coming from a distance, and Buddha also looked at her. And Buddha looked at her in such a way that she knew that Buddha wanted her to come closer. Maybe the gesture of the eyes of the Buddha was calling her to approach. So when she put down the basket and went closer to the Buddha, she came close to the Buddha, and Buddha asked 4 questions. Where did you come from? This is the first question. The second question is, where are you going? Third question, do you not know? The fourth question, do you know? So 4 questions, very important for our life. It is not only for that young girl, but also for us. These questions, when Buddha asks, we need to answer. So 4 questions asked by the Buddha. Can you follow me? Where did you come from? Where did you come from? Where are you going? Where are you going? Do you not know? Do you not know? Do you know? Do you know? A very important question in our life. Buddha asked the first question to the girl, where did you come from? The girl quickly answered, I don't know. And Buddha asked the second question, where are you going? The girl understand, I don't know. The Buddha asked the third question, do you not know? The girl answered, I know. The Buddha asked, do you know? And the girl answered, I don't know. Now the audience heard the girl gave this answer. They were offended and they not satisfied with that answer. So the audience said, this girl is saying whatever she likes with the Supreme Enlightened Buddha. The young girl is making jokes with the Buddha and so on. So people criticize the girl But the Buddha silenced them and asked her again, "My daughter, why did you say, I don't know, when I asked you where did you come from?" Buddha asked. Then she said, "Bande, you know everything. You are fully enlightened Buddha. So you know where I came from? I came from my house, the house of my father, the weaver. You already know this. So when you asked this question, I thought that you are not asking me from which place I came from, but you are asking me from which existence I came from and was to be reborn here. Since I do not know where I came from and to be reborn here, I replied, Bande, I don't know where I came from. When the girl gave this answer, Buddha was very pleased. And Buddha said, Sadhu, 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 well said, well said. You have answered my question correctly. And Buddha praised her for being able to answer the question correctly. Then Buddha asked the next question. My daughter, when I asked, where are you going? Why did you say, I don't know? Again she said, Bande, you know that I'm going to my father's workshop, but I don't think you are asking that. What you are asking was, I think where you will be reborn after you leave this life, and that I don't know. And so I replied, I don't know. Again, Buddha says, Sadhu, sadhu, well said, well said. Well said, she had answered his question correctly. So the girl was praised by the Buddha for the second time. So this question is very deep, where you will be reborn. Where are you going? So we have to pass this life, and after passing this life, where we have to go, there are many realms, lower realms, higher realms, human realms, deva realms. So to make sure where we are going to, we have to prepare. Now 2 months intensive retreat, you are preparing for this, to answer this question. If you practice seriously and completely, you can answer this question very well. Where are you going? That means where you will be reborn. What you are doing is the method, the way to be reborn in the next life. So this second question is very, very deep. It is the most difficult question to answer in our life. And the third question, Buddha asks, when I ask you, do you not know? Why did you say I know? Then the girl said, Bande, I think When you ask, do you not know? You are asking whether I do not know. That is certain for me. I know that that is certain for me. And so I replied, yes, Bande. I know that that is certain for me. This question also you can answer very smoothly, moment by moment you are practicing. The nature of psychophysical phenomena, rising, falling, rising, appearing and disappearing, falling, appearing and disappearing, not one time, millions and millions of times you confirm, breathing in and out, rising and falling, sitting, every sitting, all the sensation, all the feeling, whatever feeling arises, you note it, and gradually they disappear. When concentration gets strengthened, immediately it disappears. These phenomena are not moving any place. The moment the moment it appear, it disappear. The place it arise and it disappear. So this question is also very important. But for meditators, it is very easy to answer this question. You need to answer correctly like the girl. I know that that is certain for me. The last question, Buddha asks, why did you say I don't know? When I asked you, do you know? And the girls replied, Pandey, although I know that that is certain for me, I don't know when that will come, whether in the morning or in the afternoon or whether this month or that month, and so on. So I don't know when that will come, and I replied, I don't know. Then Buddha said, Sadhu, sadhu, well said, well said. And Buddha said, you answered my question correctly. So she answered these 4 questions, and after each answer, Buddha said words of praise for her. And at the end, Buddha said to the crowd, you don't know the meaning of my question, and so you wanted to criticize the girl, but the girl knew what I meant, and she gave answers correctly. So those who do not possess the eyes of wisdom are the blind ones, and those who possess the eyes of wisdom are those who see. And Buddha uttered a verse. Andi Buddha ayang logot tanukita vipasati sakuno jala mudawa aposagaya gichati. Blind is this world. There are only few that can see clearly as birds who escape from a net. Only a few go to a blissful state. Buddha said, very sure we all are blind. So coming to the center, coming to practice meditation is to open the eyes of wisdom. to try to collect your concentration, single-minded. Your mind is really concentrated. Your mind, your eyes getting clearer and clearer, and you can distinguish the mind and matter, and they are arising and disappearing nature. Your mind, your eyes of wisdom getting clearer and clearer to remove the blindness. Now Buddha said blind is this world. There are only few that can see clearly. Can you follow me? Blind is this world. Blind is this world. There are only few that can see. There are only few that can see clearly. So here Buddha said this world is blind. If we not practice, we are also blind. That means most people are not intelligent. Most people do not possess wisdom. So this world is blind. There are only a few that see things clearly. There are only a few that see mind and matter clearly. That means the practice of vipassana meditation and seeing the true nature of mind and matter. So those people are very few, and those who are reborn in the celestial realms and those who reach nirvana are very, very few. Just a few of birds that escape after being caught in a net by a hunter. Buddha uttered this verse, and at the end of the verse, the young girl became a Sotapanna. So in this story, first the girl was able to answer the Buddha's question correctly as Buddha intended because she had practiced meditation on mindfulness of death constantly for 3 years. That is why when Buddha asked, "Do you not know or do you know?" the girl could guess what Buddha meant. If she had not practiced meditation constantly, she would not have answered the Buddha's question correctly, or she would not have even come to see the Buddha at all. Since she was practicing meditation for 3 years, she had a kind of devotion for the Buddha. And so when she heard the Buddha had come to her city, she decided to go and see the Buddha right away. So we need to understand that it is important that we practice meditation regularly. Here, intensive retreat, very regular, 1 hour sitting, 1 hour walking, the whole day sitting, walking, the activities, continuously and diligently. Practice is very important in the practice. Not that we practice for only a while and then let it up. Then maybe after few moments we pick up and we practice again. It is not like that. That kind of practice is not so beneficial as we do not gain momentum. This story shows that we must keep the practice with us constantly. That means every day. Yeah, 2 months in intensive retreat, every moment. So we should practice whatever meditation we choose to practice. Practice it diligently, continuously, meticulously, so that we are ready for the opportunity comes. Surely, favorable condition will give you the kinds of chance. So it is important that we keep our practice going, not just practicing once in a while, but it is better to practice continuously, every moment. If we have the desire and determination to keep it going, we can keep it going however much we struggle with other things. So it is important that we keep the practice going constantly or every moment. And the other thing is mindfulness of death. Mindfulness in death is samatha meditation, but it is good to practice it and explained by the commentary. We can get benefits from the practice of mindfulness of death. During the practice of vipassana, also it is very encouraging to practice together with maranasati, recollection of death. And also we need to know that whenever we read stories like these, we find that at the end of the verse, so and so become enlightened. It seems so easy for them to gain enlightenment just listening to a verse. One verse is 32 syllables. To say these 32 syllables takes maybe 10 or 20 seconds. After 10 or 20 seconds, a person is enlightened. That is what impression we get from reading these stories. Now, actually, these people became enlightened or became sotapanna and so on, not without practicing satipatthana meditation. These details were not mentioned in the story in the books, but they were not recorded. But the commentary said that there is no mental development without comprehending the body, the feeling, the consciousness, and the Dharma object. So that means without practicing satipatthana meditation, without practicing vipassana meditation, there can be no mental development, there can be no attainment of enlightenment, there can be no realizations of nirvana. So what you believe is correct. If you want to realize nirvana, if you want to attain enlightenment, if you want to have no mental defilements, you need to practice satipatthana meditation, contemplating the body, feeling, consciousness, and Dhamma object. Can you follow me? Without practicing satipatthana, without practicing vipassana, there can be no mental development, There can be no attainment of enlightenment. There can be no realizations of nirvana. So if you want to attain enlightenment, you need to practice, you need to know the true nature of psychophysical phenomena. Now you are contemplating all the time. So when you read that somebody became enlightened after the verse, you must understand that he or she went through the stages of vipassana meditation. It is not like you snapped the finger and became enlightened. He or she has to practice at least for some minutes while listening to the teaching of the Buddha. Although the verse only is recorded, Buddha must have taught more than this verse. And Buddha talked very fast. When we say one word, Buddha could say 128 words. So that means Buddha spoke 128 times faster than we do. So if Buddha talked for 5 minutes, the teaching would be a lot. That is why it is said that just the teaching given in one sitting becomes a whole Nikaya, becomes a whole collection, maybe 1,000 pages and so on. So Buddha must have taught more than this verse. He must have explained it and he must have taught them to practice meditation and so on. While listening to the teaching of the Buddha, they must have been meditating. They must have been going through the stages of vipassana. Such people are those who had accumulated experience in the past, or they had paramis, perfection. So they had practiced on in their past life, so they are ripe for enlightenment. They are like a lotus flower waiting to open up at the first appearance of sun's rays. So they are just ready for enlightenment. Buddha gave this talk and then explained some more, and then they are able to achieve enlightenment. So whenever we read such stories, we must understand that they must have gone through the stages of vipassana meditation in order to reach enlightenment. Without going through the stages of vipassana meditation, they could not gain enlightenment. So now in this story, the very important question, where are you going? And do you not know that is certain for you, that is certain for us? This we must be serious. There are two kinds of disintegrating, paloka. Disintegrating at the end of our life and disintegrating during life at every moment. Now you try to discover psychophysical phenomena are disintegrating. Sitting, touching, rising, falling, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, stretching, bending, seeing, hearing, etc. Whatever phenomena you observe, You capture the beginning, the middle, and the end of this process, and they arise and disappear. And you see this disintegrating during that life process. And then at the end of our life, the immune system getting lower and lower, and then the last moment is the final disintegrating. Disintegrating at the end of our life. Disintegrating at the end of our life and disintegrating during life at every moment are the same, because psychophysical phenomena are disintegrating every moment, every hours, every second. Now all these questions you can answer if you practice meditation very completely. And also it is important to see the disintegrating. You will be very familiar to the nature of death, arising and disappearing, appearing and disappearing, and you can overcome that kinds of nature of death, and you will realize nirvana, the cessation of all suffering. So do disintegrating. Can you follow me? Disintegrating at the end of life. Disintegrating at the end of life. Disintegrating during life at every moment. Disintegrating during life at every moment. So they are the same. They are the same. They are not very different. But at the end of our life, there's no replacement. But in the daily life, every moment is disappearing and disintegrating, but another replacing phenomena are occurring, so that our life keep on going. So we have to stop our discourse for today by practicing Maranasati, recollection of death, by practicing Metta Bhavana, Vipassana Bhavana, by noting, rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, continuously and meticulously. May all meditators be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.